to order the City of Apache Junction Council meeting for August 6, 2024 to order, and ask everyone to put their cell phones on silence. The invocation will be led by Councilman Member Tess Nesser and the pledge by Council Member Brian Solar. Excuse me.
Am I on? Dear Lord, thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your abundant blessings. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you, Lord, for our first responders who serve and protect all citizens and our community. Please protect our military men and women, especially those who are away from home and from their families. You have said that citizens are to obey the governing authorities, since you have established these very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for our city officials, and for this assembled council. I ask that you graciously grant us wisdom to govern amid any conflicting interests and issues, confidence in what is good and fitting, and the ability to work together in harmony. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Wilson,
Here.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Present.
Councilmember Cross,
Here.
Councilmember Heck,
Here.
Councilmember Johnson, Councilmember Nesser,
Present.
Councilmember Soller.
Here.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. As a reminder, all items under the consent agenda will be approved with one motion. If a council member wishes to remove an item for future discussion, the request must be made prior to approving the consent agenda and will be moved to new business. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Soller,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Cross,
Yes.
Councilmember Heck,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Regional intergovernment updates. Anyone have anything? Over here?
Nope.
Over here?
I got something.
Okay.
I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Bambi Johnson, Peter Heck, Chip Wilson, and Tess Nesser on their reelection to the Apache Junction City Council. I look forward to working with you guys again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I have one thing that I wanted to say. I had the opportunity to go to our high school here and do a civics class and kind of showing what we do here at the city. And it was we had 4 classes that I actually led and talked to the young individuals and kind of give them a quick oversight as to what we do, how we do it a little bit different than what what's for the federal government, how it's set up, how we're different, but also in the aspects that, make them aware. One of the questions that the instructor gave was at the beginning, it says, what does the city council and mayor, what do they do? And there was a lot of not knowing. And it was really, in a sense, an aspect of an awareness for them to understand what the city has to offer for them. And actually, we have one of the students that came to us tonight to sit in the city council, and I appreciate him coming in. And but it is something that I, as you all know, I'm very powerful and very wanting to get our young adults involved with the city. And it was an opportunity for me to try to reach out to them and talk to them. And I enjoyed it. Okay. City Manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bryant Powell, City Manager. I have a couple of items tonight. The first is some exciting news that we're now out recruiting for the next round of boards and commission members. I can't believe it's that time of year. I don't know if Matt could change the next slide there, but we're looking for applicants for Board of Adjustment, Construction Board of Appeals, and all of the below, including Parks and Rec planning. So if you have interest in this area or in any interest in helping or supporting your community, one of the greatest ways that can be done is by participating in local government through the boards and the commission process. So we have applied before September 15th, and feel free to reach out to Jennifer's office in the City Clerk's Department to help. We can help you get signed up. And then in addition, I'll turn the rest of the time to Jennifer for some exciting news. Oh, boy.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I'd like to call Evie up with me here.
She doesn't want to get that.
Come
on, Abby.
Thank you. So Evie has worked in almost every department over her 27 years here at the city. She recently celebrated her 20 consecutive years with the city. 3 years ago, Evie became the Deputy City Clerk, and I am frequently told how lucky I am to have her. They are not telling me anything I don't already realize. Evie is well-known, well-liked, and very respected here in the city. When it comes to the City Clerk's office, it takes a significant amount of time to learn the ins and outs of all the various responsibilities and duties that a City Clerk's office can conduct. They vary from city to city. Just when you think you have everything nailed down, it changes. So it's constantly on a circle. Over the last 3 years, Evie has attended clerk trainings. Each year, there is an elections legislative update that is held through AMCA and conducted by the League. They cover the legislative changes, and they also cover campaign finance every year. This is a session that all clerks, deputies, administrative staff, county clerks, county recorders, and other election officials attend. Once you have attended 3 years of this elections and campaign finance training, you take a municipal elections test. I believe this year it took Evie 2 hours. It can take anywhere up to 3.5 hours, maybe 4, to pass the exam. You have to pass with at least 90% in order to get your certification as an election official. So when it comes to municipal elections and this exam, they cover everything from the candidate election, referendums, initiatives, recalls, and special elections. Evie passed with a 95% on this exam.
That's it.
She also has been attending, as you'll notice, the second certificate, the Secretary of State's elections training. So we also have to get recertified, like your attorneys have continuing education credits. We have to recertify every 2 years. The Secretary of State's training, though, is very different and involves a whole lot more than a local municipal election. This is held in odd years, and I'd like to go over a couple of the questions that they ask on this test because I think your jaw will drop. So it asks, who administers the address confidentiality program for the state of Arizona? This can vary depending on the state that you are in. Our Secretary of State actually handles this, and they have a mailing address for those in their office. For members of federally recognized tribes, an address is required. One of the questions is the address required on a tribal identification card when showing identification on Election Day? So our tribes are individuals that their address may be third house past the red house off the corner of Route 2. So there is not an actual address. And I know our PD has seen addresses like that. And so they are the only ones that really do not have to have a physical address on their identification. Who has the authority to bring a quo warranto action against a public official? So this is the Attorney General, and what it is for the interest of the state to prevent elected officials from holding office who do not have the right to hold office. How often is the Election Equipment Certification Committee required to provide election equipment security reviews? The counties are usually in an election cycle every year, but this board, you have to know whether it's 2 years, 3 years, or every year, and it's every 2 years to get certified. And does Arizona participate in the Election Assistance Commission testing of the voting equipment? This is a voluntary program by state or by county. Arizona, all of its counties volunteer for this certification of its voting equipment. And I'd like to point out this map. So the red is all of the states and all of the counties that participate. So while you do see states that have red and white areas, those are the counties that have elected to participate in the certification of their voting equipment or not. There are 14 steps in that process. There are 4 different parties that this goes through. It goes through a third-party independent lab. It goes through the EAC Commission. The EAC Commission has a testing and certification division, and then it has to hit the executive director. So there are 4 independent entities that see the research and analysis and testing of this. And like I said, it takes 14 steps just to get to that point. So Evie has passed both the state exam, which took, I believe, 3 hours? 4? About 4 hours. Some take longer than that because it is quite extensive. There are 100 questions that normally city clerks do not have to know in order to become a certified elections official for the local municipality. So I'm here just to congratulate Evie on passing both exams. One was last year and one was this year. So thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the council. I just thank you for the support that you give your staff to continue educating ourselves so that we can excel and be staff members that you would be proud of. Elections is something totally different than I ever knew until I came into the clerk's office. And I do thank Jennifer for all of her encouragement and just the ideas that she has that I wouldn't have any idea of knowing about elections. So thank you all for your support as well.
Thank you.
Good job, Evie.
Mayor.
Yes.
I forgot something. Over the last couple weeks, I went to a conference and I got to meet Kristen Sinema, our U.S. Arizona State Senator, and I was able to thank her on behalf of the city of Apache Junction for $45 million for the Weeks Wash project. So she said that was one of the highlights of her career was getting that money for us. So I just wanted to let you know that. I forgot that under the regional update.
Okay.
We have one more item. And Kayla, if you could help us on current events, that'd be great.
Evie's my height. I like it for the mic. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I will be stepping in for Eli this evening, so I have the pleasure of sharing with you an update regarding current events. Just yesterday, we kicked off Free Dump Week that runs through this Saturday, the 10th. As you guys are probably well aware, the city partners with Republic Services 4 times a year to offer this resource for residents, essentially giving them the option to bring 1 full load of trash to the Apache Junction landfill free of charge. I do want to clarify that there is a size limitation to that, which is either a maximum of 500 pounds or essentially the size of one truck bed of a pickup truck. But that is running all week long through their operating hours, which is 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. A couple quick reminders for anyone who may be watching this evening that you will have to show proof of residency when you arrive, so any sort of utility bill, something like that, and that safety is highest priority there on the site, so hard hats and safety vests are required, and if a resident does not have one, those are available for purchase. They're on site from Republic. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. Otherwise, that concludes my update.
No questions from here. Thank you. Okay, public hearings. At this time, I will combine items number 7 and 8 in the public hearing as they are related to fees, animal control, and public safety. But we'll have separate motions for each item. Number 7, presentation, discussion, public hearing, and consideration of ordinance number 1550, and presentation and discussion, public hearing, consideration of ordinance number 1551.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of council. Commander Joe Penzi on behalf of Chief Pooley and the Police Department. Requesting your consideration for approval for the two items here. Article 4.3 is for our animal control fees. Article 4.7 is for our public safety fees. I was in front of you, I think, 3 or 4 months ago, and we discussed all the different, some of the changes. Some of it was just some wording. We still had some stuff in there on our public safety fees that talked about VCR tapes and other old media devices, so we made some changes. For the future, to just cover it as calling it a media device. So if it changes from a flash drive to something else, we don't have to come back up and change it just because of the wording or technology. Our public, for our animal control, it was just, the major one was a surrender fee. We're following what all the other animal control facilities in the valley are doing. Surrender fee is if someone has a dog, takes a puppy, and then there's a change like the COVID where everybody was taking out a dog or a cat, and then they went back to work and wanted to surrender their dog or cat. We were taking them in, and there was some costs of shots and exams and stuff that we need to do. So this is just going along with the rest of the other animal control facilities, like I said, covering some of our costs. For a dog, it'll be $65, and a cat, it'll be $40. And you can see the other facilities are even a little bit more than what we are, but we're just trying to get in the same areas they are. Adoption fees for dogs and cats are unchanged. The only thing we did add is for puppies and kittens, which is going with the same as the other agencies. We're still a little bit cheaper, but these go no matter what. Lori Erlinson's here from Animal Control Manager, and if she gets puppies or kittens, they're pretty much gone pretty quickly. So, and these fees also cover all the shots and exams for the puppies and kittens over the time. Some of the language updates, like I said, we changed from VHS discs and cassettes to just a media drive. Reports are basically unchanged. It's $10. The only other thing we changed is earlier in the year, state legislation changed that we can charge $46 an hour for doing audio and videotapes, which takes a lot of time for some of our people and records to do. They have to go through and redact their faces, redact some audio when it's talking about where they live, their names, other information, birth dates and stuff. That all has to be redacted. So this stuff takes a period of time for them to do that. And by state legislation, passed it where we can charge $46 an hour for them to do that. It would recover some of the time and expenses that we put into it. Here's some of the main ones. Most of the changes haven't been done since 2015 with the animal control fees, and that was just some minor stuff with more of like livestock. It wasn't anything with cats or dogs. And everything else you could see before that was 2006, 8, and 9. With 2009 was adding the immobilization of vehicles and impound fees. So this would update our sections for both of those to get them up to date. Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Joe, question regarding the surrender fees for dogs and cats. So just want to make sure I understand, does that mean this would be an owner that acquired the dog or cat from animal control there and then is bringing it back?
It would cover it from anywhere. If they received it somewhere else, moved into Apache Junction, couldn't have it because the landlord maybe wouldn't let them have it, they're going to have to surrender it. So that fee just covers us for them to do Lori and her staff to do their exams and if their shots needed and stuff.
So then the next question with that is, I know there are folks that find stray animals out in the community and they bring them in. Are they going to be asked to pay a surrender fee?
No. It's only, yeah, if it's just a wild stray animal or something, it wouldn't be a change. It's only if somebody owns a dog already.
Okay, so if someone just brings an animal in because they're concerned.
They found it in the desert or
Yeah,
something,
they're
yeah.
not, okay, 'cause
There's
otherwise
no fee.
people won't.
Yeah, and we already have, she has a waiting list of, how far back? About 20 people on a list because we just don't have the space
20 people that
that are trying to surrender
Surrender
it,
it.
but,
They found strays and they can't.
because they come to us first, basically, it sounds like, because we don't have a fee right now, so these other agencies do. So she has a list because we just don't have the space.
But these
We're
are
full.
folks that they have this, it's not a stray they found. It's
Right.
their dog.
It's their dog, and they just can't have it anymore, or they just don't want it for whatever reason.
All right, thanks. Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, I have one question in the aspect on it is, I noticed that one of the things we removed on it was that you had to be a resident of the Apache Junction. So we're now going to be able to take animals in from the surrounding counties?
Well, they already come from everywhere. I mean, we get them from Pinell County into Gold Canyon and everything. So it's just the fee to take them in, because it just covers our costs and stuff. But as I said, if we're on a waiting list as it is, so it would just cover some of the costs that we're getting from that.
So if you have a feral cat that
We don't accept feral cats.
you don't accept feral cats?
Because they're nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
I wouldn't want to accept the feral cat. I mean,
They
Well-
can be worse than a bobcat.
Okay.
thank you.
Well, this is a public hearing. First, do we have any discussion from the council on this? Okay, I open this hearing to the public for items number 7 and 8. There's a 5-minute time limit with 1-minute warning you will hear. Please state your name and address for the record. Anyone like to speak?
Good evening, Andre Meek, 1327 South Bel Air Road, here in AJ. As a rescuer of several feral cats and, a lover of animals, I can only see I guess surrender fees if someone owns a dog and they got to give it up or something like that, I can see that. But not accepting feral cats, I see that as somebody's going to make them coyote feed. We got to get a little better on that, I believe. And the waiting list for people trying to surrender their animals, that's basically, we don't have the infrastructure to do something about it. And maybe we need to look into that, or tying in with some kind of animal rescue that can help in that respect. But, there was just a story in next door where somebody found a kitten in a cage just about dead. Where was it? In the end of, one of the ends of the streets, I think it was Meridian, up at the end of Meridian. Somebody found one just recently. It was just about dead, and then earlier than that, somebody had said that they found a puppy in the cage that didn't make it. People throwing them out. And, I myself, I'd give them the death penalty, my death penalty, But I think that, there's a lot of feral, lost, tossed animals here in this city because, we're so close to the desert and people just let them go out there and all that. And I don't know, I'd like to see, a better process of doing some of those animals, especially the cats, because right now, I was wondering, well, if there's a surrender fee of this much, if you brought in a whole bundle of kittens you found, is that $40 a pop? But no, I guess if they're feral, that's free. But then they're not accepting feral cats. So, somebody says, well, I can't handle these, And that's basically what my neighbor did to me, They had 3 kittens that they found in their yard that their dog wanted to kill, and they didn't know what to do. So we took them in, and I was going to just, raise them and then get rid of them. And you know what happens? You can't get rid of them. So, so anyway, that's all I have to say on that.
Donna Carr, Apache Junction resident, and I agree with him on taking in feral cats, because I know I have 4 of them that keep trying to live on my back porch, which I don't appreciate. And if we're going to take in animals from surrounding areas, maybe we should make the dog pound bigger. Maybe where some of that COVID money could go that we keep passing out.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name's Lori. I am the Animal Services Supervisor for the shelter. I wasn't going to speak, but I thought I probably should come up and clarify a few points that were made. First of all, we are a municipal shelter. We are a city-only service. We only serve residents. We do not intake from surrounding communities. If you live in Gold Canyon, you are a Pinal County resident. You're surrendering to Pinal County Animal Control, not to our facility. So we do not take from outside our jurisdiction. That includes the county islands. People who live on a county island within AJ are still Pinal County residents. So I just wanted to clarify, we're not taking from outside our jurisdiction. Back in the day, we used to try to help out with Pinal County years ago when it wasn't such a crisis in the valley with so many animals coming in and the shelters are over full. So both Maricopa County, Pinal County have been over capacity for years, functioning on a managed intake, which includes scheduled appointments to intake the animal as well as a surrender fee. We have, as of the beginning of last year, 23, we've had to implement the managed intake, meaning I have to take surrender appointments. I have no room. Every dog kennel is full. Every cat kennel is full. I can't intake from something off the street if I have nowhere to put it. It's too hot to house them outside in our outside kennel areas. So yes, we have been doing a managed intake for over a year now. We are now looking at aligning with the other facilities and doing that surrender fee, mostly to start a conversation with owners, because the pound, and that's what we are, at the core, should be the last resort. We need to talk to these people and give them other options to look at. You shouldn't be able to just simply dump your animal. That's what's causing the problem. So these surrender fees, these managed intake, scheduled appointments, that's allowing us to work with people, give them resources to look into before just simply coming and saying, here you go. Just wanted to clarify that real quickly. The feral cat population. Cats are considered free roam animals in the city, actually in every city in the valley. So no animal control entity goes out and picks up cats. And as far as feral cats, they're called community cats. They live they're wild animals. There just isn't an outlet for them. Now, many years ago, we did take in feral cats. We allowed people to trap and bring us feral cats. I had to euthanize them. There is no outlet for feral cats. They don't want to be rehabilitated. They don't want to be put in a kennel. They don't want to be a house cat and sit on your lap. So we were euthanizing cats. The community didn't like that. So we've decided to flip that script, and for many years now, we don't take in feral cats because we don't want to euthanize them. We want them to live out their lives in the community. There's a lot of groups that do TNR, which is called trap, neuter, release. They'll go out, they'll trap the animals, get them spayed and neutered, release them back into the community where they're living. They can't reproduce, but then they're also just getting to live out their lives. That's a better option. It's a more humane option. And so that's how we're dealing with the community cat situation. So thank you. Just wanted to clarify a few items.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to follow up with a question on that last one then, in the aspect, do we do the, I'll call it catch and release of feral cats, where I'll say neuter them and then allow them to be back to be released?
Are you asking, do we do that at the
Yes.
facility? We don't, because we don't have a veterinarian on staff. We aren't able to, it's a coordinating thing. You've got to have your vet lined up that does the TNR. You've got to have the groups that go, they trap, they get them to the vet for that day where they do the feral cats, and then it all has to happen when the cat gets trapped. So it would be too difficult for us to provide it directly, but there's groups that do that. And on our website, we have a link actually to Community Cat Resources, which gives all the phone numbers and contact information
Okay.
for the groups that address that.
Okay, that was the next part of that question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
If there's any other questions, I guess I'll stand here for a second.
No,
Okay.
that one was the one I had.
Oh,
Okay.
great. Thank you, sir.
All right, anything else from the council? Then I don't see anyone else moving forward to make a discussion, so I will now close public hearing and ask for a motion for number 7, ordinance number 1550.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that ordinance number 1550 be read by title only and the reading of the entire ordinance be waived.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call?
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Cross?
Yes.
Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Councilmember Soller?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance number 1550, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Apache Junction, Arizona, amending Apache Junction City Code, Volume 1, Chapter 4 Fees, Article 4-3, Animal Control Fee Schedule, repealing any conflicting provisions and providing for severability.
Do I have a motion for adoption of ordinance number 1550?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that ordinance number 1550 as read by the city clerk be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call?
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Cross?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Soller?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Do I have a motion for item number 8, ordinance number 1551?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that ordinance number 1551 be read by title only and the reading of the entire ordinance be waived.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call?
Councilmember Soller?
Yes.
Councilmember Cross?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 1551, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Apache Junction, Arizona, amending Apache Junction City Code Volume 1, Chapter 4 Fees, Article 4-7, Public Safety Fee Schedule, repealing any conflicting provisions and providing for severability.
All right, do I have a second motion for adoption of ordinance number
Your Honor.
1551? Yes.
I move that ordinance number 1551, as read by the city clerk, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call?
Councilmember Cross?
Yes.
Councilmember Soller?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Presentation, discussion, and possible direction to staff regarding updates on city code relating to accessory structures.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rudy Esquivias. I'm the Development Services Director. Mr. Mayor, a couple of weeks ago, a gentleman came before you and asked if you would please change the code to once again allow bathrooms with showers in detached accessory buildings. He may have also approached a couple of you individually. It is a code change prior to 2014 when we did the major update to our zoning ordinance. We used to allow for detached accessory buildings such as garages, pool houses, art studios, yoga studios, things like that to have a full bathroom. And then with the 2014 code amendments, we got away from that. Of course, we discovered that a lot of times these detached garages and studios were turning into little apartments, so we kind of get away from that. However, if I understood the consensus, or at least the direction of council a couple of weeks ago, there seems to be interest once again in allowing restrooms with showers in a detached garage or a detached studio or a detached pool house, as the case may be. It is a code amendment. Unfortunately, it is going to take several weeks to get through the process because we have to advertise it. It has to go through P&Z, and then it'll come to you for final decision. We will get it through the process as efficiently and expediently as possible, but normally a code amendment process does take a little bit. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to answer any questions. If you'd like to give direction to staff tonight, we can proceed with initiating the code amendments. And it's an amendment to Section 165 of the zoning ordinance, which is the section which addresses accessory structures.
Mayor?
Yes.
the state just passed a law, cities over 50,000, correct? They're allowed to build these in their casitas, right? Didn't the state just pass a law
I think he's
that way?
talking about the dwelling units.
Yeah.
We already allow accessory dwelling units. There is a difference in that an accessory dwelling unit, in other words, a guest house, mother-in-law flat, whatever you want to call it, is allowed in any single-family residential district as long as it meets the setbacks for the main residence and as long as you're not exceeding your maximum lot coverage. There are some criteria for an accessory dwelling unit / guest house, which we already allow. What we're talking about here is not guest houses. If this gentleman wants to build a guest house and he has the room for it, that's fine. But my understanding is he's got maybe a 6,500 square foot lot where perhaps he doesn't quite have the yard space to do a little casita. So basically, he's asking, if I understand him correctly, it'd be like a workshop with a restroom. So and then that would be subject to different setbacks, lesser setbacks, and lesser requirements than if it was a guest house type of structure.
Thank you.
So we're already ahead in many ways of what the state is mandating for those that are going to be 50,000 and above anyway. So we feel really good about that.
Right. This gentleman came to us, with a medical reason for
Right.
it, so. I'll make a motion here to direct my staff.
Smith.
Anybody?
Another question, Your Honor.
Okay.
Rudy, so that, it does bring to me the concern that if someone, like you said, has a detached garage and they put in a bathroom and a shower and all, that they could convert that to a living space. So now that adds another dimension of challenges that code enforcement has to deal with, which is, they would be violating the code for that second dwelling unit.
That's correct.
Right, okay, so it's just, we don't, do they have to, I assume they have to provide an explanation as to what they're going to do with this?
Yes.
This unit, this building, okay.
Right,
So
right.
hopefully they'll be honest and forthright with us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Well, this would also allow if somebody has a pool and they have a detached garage, maybe they want to have a shower there so that everybody is showering off before coming to the house. So
That's
it's
correct.
a convenience item for those people as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't need a motion on the aspect on it, but we need to say if we want to give direction.
Direction to
You-
staff?
Oh, you do need a
You
motion.
should have a
Well,
motion.
motion for direction to staff.
You should have a motion
I
for
have it
direction
right
to
here,
staff.
Oh, we have a motion for direction to staff? Okay.
Yeah.
I move that direction to staff be given to review and consider updates to the Apache Junction City Code, Volume 2, Land Development Code, Chapter 1, Zoning Ordinance, Article 1 through 6, Supplemental Regulations, Section 165, Accessory Structures, to allow for accessory buildings, bathrooms to have shower.
Second.
Buildings and bathrooms to have showers.
Second.
So do we vote on it?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a roll call, please.
Certainly. Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Councilmember Cross?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Soller?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay. Call to the public. I would like to remind everyone the call to the public is a courtesy and not required by law. It's a time for the public to express requests, communication, comments, and suggestions. Requests to speak form must have been completed and handed to the city clerk before the end of the city manager's report. All issues shall be presented in a professional manner without personal attacks. Under the open meeting law, the council cannot engage in discussion on issues presented, but may respond to criticism and may direct staff to follow up with the speaker directly and/or place the matter on a future agenda for council discussion. There's a 3-minute time limit for each speaker, and I have two. Donna Carr.
Donna Carr, Apache Junction resident. First, I thought that the council is professional and that some people should not chuckle when something is being told to them that is on a serious point, such as the reclaimed water. The other thing I have to say is that I don't believe that we belong bringing foreign corporations into Apache Junction. Now, when I brought this up before, I was told that I was being racist, that you can't say whether a Chinese person or African American or whatever nationality they are can't purchase land here. I'm not saying that anybody of any nationality can't purchase land here. What I'm saying is I don't think that other countries should be purchasing our land, such as China. And so I don't think that we belong bringing foreign corporations in. Besides, the fact is I mean, we got our governor who allows places like chip factories to come in that require a lot of water. Do you know that they use over 300,000 gallons of water a day? That it's okay for them to pump our groundwater and use it for all these corporations that are coming in from foreign countries, but yet we bring it to the attention of the people that we need to put reclaimed water out our faucet so that we can drink sewer water. And I don't think that's right to allow the corporations to use up all our groundwater and we drink sewer water. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Andre, meet.
Hello again. Andre Meek, 1327 South Bel Air here in AJ. Congratulations on council and mayor for getting reelected. Glad to see the same faces. Okay, dump week. Free? I had to pay $29. Because when you would go on the page, it had the little hyperlink, and hyperlink said that pickup size load was cool. Well, apparently on another page, it said 500-pound limit. So if you exceed that 500-pound limit, you pay full bore. Now I had, we were hauling my neighbor's crushed up concrete over to the dump, and I threw some palm fronds on top of that, so I had half a trailer load. And they charged us full bore on it. Now, I can see, okay, over 500 pounds, you pay, but if you're 100 pounds over, you're paying $30 more. I think that maybe we could use, if we're going to run the 500-pound thing, we ought to have some kind of like incremental, per 10 pounds, per 100 pounds over that, you pay some more. But the website was misleading. And the other thing is, they hold your credit card. You drive in, they want your credit card. You don't get in the dump without giving them your credit card. That's high security right there. You can hold my license if you want me to come back through the gate, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to come back over the scales to weigh out. So, they can ask for the license, but asking for your credit card is just wrong. So I called them, and I talked to a gentleman there, and he said that he was going to get on it. He got on, and he was supposed to straighten out the web pages and everything like that. And he says, don't worry about the credit card thing. Well, I don't know if he meant don't worry about that we paid it, because he did say, I'm refunding your neighbor his money because of the websites being ambiguous. But I want it known that if they're still holding credit cards, that's wrong. And I saw a lot on Nextdoor, same thing about free dump week, people going there and saying, I got to give up my credit card. I don't think that's right. And I think, we ought to do something else about, making sure you get back to the gate there. That's all I got.
Thank you. Any comments?
I would be able,
We can look into that and reach out,
It seems like that's
talk
a
about what their
legitimate
policy
concern.
is.
Yeah, that's a legitimate concern.
Well, I've done it, and I've given them cash, that they hung on to the cash until I came back out without using, because I refused to leave my credit card also. But I had to give them cash.
I'll look into it, yep.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Good evening. Thank you.